Welcome back to Clearing the Air, the environmental justice podcast where we unpack the systems shaping our health, our communities, and our futures. Today, we're diving into an issue that quite literally touches every part of our lives: water. Who has access to clean, safe water? Who doesn't, and why? I'm excited to be joined by Vanessa, a water justice advocate whose work focuses on the intersections of environmental racism, public health, and community power. Vanessa has been on the front lines pushing for accountability, equity, and solutions that center the people most impacted. We'll talk about how water justice shows up in everyday life, what's broken in our current systems, and what real water justice could look like if we're willing to fight for it. Vanessa, welcome to Clearing the Air. We're so glad to have you.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yay.
Excited to be here with you.
Vanessa, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from?
Oh, Lord. Okay. Well, my name's Vanessa. Oh, yeah, you said that about 15 times. I am from the southeast side of Chicago, pretty much the border of Indiana. I know, Gina, you know where that is, but most people have no idea where that is. So the border of Indiana when you leave Chicago. And yeah, I'm from here. And what did you ask me? You said
just about yourself.
Oh, about myself. I was born and raised here. I'm a fifth generation resident of this neighborhood. I am a photographer, visual storyteller. I like to tell stories through pictures, especially when they can uplift some messaging to make some good impacts, like, problems in our neighborhood with environment. I currently work for Northwestern University. I'm working on a study that tests drinking water for lead. I don't know why that was such a blank.
No, yeah, that's amazing. I'm so excited that you're here. So you work at Northwestern, you're doing water testing for clean drinking water. We know Chicago has the most lead service lines in the country. So that's really important work that you're doing to bring awareness to that. And so what first pulled you into doing this work, and why did you want to do it?
So I was already active in the community doing environmental work in general, fighting against General Iron with the rest of the crew, fighting for clean air. And actually, Gina, you are the one that told me, did you know that there's lead in water? And I'm like, excuse me, tell me more. And so I learned about the lead issues in water. I learned what the repercussions of lead exposure are. And I just thought that this was not right. Like, water is literally a fundamental human right. And we all should have access to, amazing, perfect, pure Chicago fresh water that everyone claims we have. And yeah, so I just started getting really vocal about how neighborhoods like ours should be prioritized for initiatives to fix this problem, because we bear the most burden of all of the pollution in all of the elements.
Yeah, there was a newspaper article a few years ago that really got me thinking about lead in water in Chicago, doing environmental justice work in Chicago. You see these maps of the south and west sides are these red hot zones for industry. And this article in The Guardian talked about these astronomical lead levels on the south side of Chicago. And I know did that resonate with you?
Yeah, I think that was one of the points that I first heard about these the unsafe levels of lead in this community. I remember this. I think it was 70 something part times the legal limit or something at the action level. And my group, Bridges Puentes, had our very first event highlighting lead in water. We actually did kind of a visual representation of what it means to be 70 something times the legal level. And we took bottles of water and we put some seasoning, some adobo seasoning in there. So one of them had nothing. One of them had 15, because 15 parts per billion is the action level of lead. And then we did 75 times that. And when we showed that visual to the group, they were astounded. They were astounded. And all of a sudden, I remember there was this weird feeling in the room, and people started asking questions and being very curious and wanting to know what they can do. And when I seen that, I was like, oh yeah, we can make some change here. We can like be loud here, because we can, there's different ways to figure out how to like show people that they should care, and this is a great way to do it.
Yeah. What I love about your group, Bridges Puentes, is all of the art activism that you all do. I'm a visual learner, and so I just want to give you guys your flowers for doing that in the community.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I know that you guys do a bunch of stuff, but can you talk about your filter distribution work and how does that process reach people who need it the most?
Yeah. So along the way, we've gotten blessed with little funding here and there, and we have bought many filters for people in the neighborhood. We've gone out to community events and we've had raffles for filters. We've collected people's contact information to find out if they're interested in having their water tested by the city. Do you want us to look up online to see if you're eligible for a free filter from the city? And we're trying to like help ease the process for our neighbors to get them involved in like Chicago lead testing and things like that, so they can get on the list. How do you get on the list to have your lead pipe removed? Well, you first have to like show that you have lead in your water, right? Let's take the first step. So we've given out, I don't know, probably 200 filters to people just randomly. Like we just give them away. One time we do a toy drive every year. We had Santa delivering filters to families, filters and refills. We always want to give the refills too. So yeah, it's been really nice, and people are really thankful for them. And they're like, this is taking off such a burden because they're expensive. Now, granted, people have also said like, I need refills because these are expensive. So we try to help people as much as we can with that as well. One time too, the city of Chicago offers zero water pitchers for people who qualify, whatever that means. However you qualify, I don't know what that means, but there was a point where the coupons didn't work anymore. They were expired, and there was no follow up to that. And we just went on like a Twitter storm at the time trying to get, the stuff. And yeah, eventually they just let us know that their contract was like in limbo or something. But we definitely were just putting ourselves out there and trying to like give people resources the best they can. And Zero Water actually ended up sending us some coupons, a link to some coupons.
Oh, I love it. You guys are literally bridging the gap.
Trying
to all the bureaucratic tape at
Trying
the city.
to.
But yeah, because like even the website's really confusing for the city. It's not well advertised. People don't even know.
Doesn't work a lot of the time.
Yeah, people don't know this program exists. Aldermen aren't stepping up. So kudos to you guys for doing the Lord's work. And so all of this community activism that you've done around water led you to another path, similar though, and you work for Northwestern University doing project management and research for them. And I know that you've been doing a lot of work going to people's homes, doing lead testing. So can you tell us what a typical home test looks like from start to finish?
Sure. So well, just, I guess to give you like a short end of what we're doing here, we're creating this at-home test that takes like less than an hour for you to see not just like positive or negative, but it will give you like, do you have over or under 5 parts per billion of lead in your water, which is really impactful information to give to people. So we've been developing this test over the past couple of years. We're about to enter our 4th round of our study. So people volunteer to be part of this. We have them stagnate their water for 6 hours, just like the city of Chicago does. Same thing. We go in there, we take water in containers. We have people do like an at-home test that looks just like a COVID test or a pregnancy test. They do it right there in front of us. They read their responses. Now, these are not like verified tests because they're still in production. This is all part of like figuring out all the problems and working out the kinks. And then we take the water back to our lab with us and we give them their real results, gold standard results, so that they know how much lead is in their water. And one of the cool things that we just added to our test, which is really neat, is that now when you're done, you can put the test strip down and take a picture with your phone. And then that analyzes the test strip and tells you if you have more or less than 5 parts per billion. So it's not just like, is that a faint line or what does this mean? You know, it's really just kind of black and white at this point now. So that's an exciting new thing that we're doing.
Yeah, results in real time. None of this like panic waiting.
Or like wondering if the results will ever come back. Actually, this morning I took my City of Chicago water collection and put it on my porch, and some white SUV came and picked it up today. So it says that, so I applied to get the test 2 weeks before it came. And then it said in the paperwork that I should have my results in 2 weeks. So I've been documenting this experience to see how long it actually takes and what everything looks like, to compare it to what we're doing at Northwestern, but also like just so I can tell other people, like, should you be worried about like it getting lost? Have they fixed the problem of people like their results going into the abyss, So yeah, I'm excited to get my results. And also I'm going to be taking the water to our lab from the same day, just another stagnation period, and then see how they compare to each other.
Oh, that's good. I really hope the process has improved, because when we were getting my mom's lead service line removed, we never got the results. So we still to this day don't know what the lead level was before the removal.
Yeah, a friend of mine just got his results back, and he put it, I think like two months ago he sent it in or something. He just got it a couple of weeks ago. So I mean, I just hope that it's going better. I don't want to just always be like they're not doing enough. I hope that they're figuring it out and like doing better so people can want to participate.
Yeah. So how can community members advocate for testing or resources in their neighborhoods?
Well, we need to talk to our alder people so that they can support this lead service line replacement program and push for the funding. We need to like talk to our alder people. That's kind of where it starts, right? With our most local elected officials, right? Like Illinois is kind of like, they're on board for like, let's replace the service lines, but we need to like find the money is what we need to do. How are we going to find the money? So we need to talk to our elected officials.
So living on the Southeast side, fighting all these injustices, the state of the world as it is right now, what's giving you hope, Vanessa?
Oh my goodness, what's giving me hope?
Especially in the water justice world.
Well, okay, this is one of the most impactful findings that we've been finding with our study has been giving me a lot of hope. And that is that when people have knowledge, like actual knowledge in their hands about the actual quality of their water, they're empowered to make decisions for their families. Because I know that we are on a long road to full lead service line replacement, but there are mitigation efforts that we can do. This is one thing that we actually can do something about, but like people don't know to do it unless they really know that they need to or they should. And so by us bringing these tests or giving people gold standard testing results, like people are proven now, since we know, they're actually using filters. They're being more mindful about flushing their taps, and they're learning different things about water safety, and they're making great decisions the best decisions for their families based on, their testing results. But I'll also put in there, I'll give you my 2 cents here and say, just because you test one time for no lead doesn't mean that tomorrow you won't test high again, because they're all like very isolated situations. Something can happen and shake up your pipe. So regular testing is really important too.
Vanessa, thank you so much for sharing your time, your knowledge, and your passion with us today. This conversation really highlights that water justice isn't about infrastructure. It's about dignity, health, and human rights. To our listeners, thank you for tuning in to Clearing the Air. If this episode resonated with you, we encourage you to learn more, talk about it in your communities, and take action where you can, because clean water should never be a privilege. Be sure to follow us for more conversations at the intersection of environmental justice, policy, and people power. Until next time, take care and keep clearing the air.